What is going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Wesley from A Connection TV here on YouTube, the one place on the World Wide Web where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing me, definitely follow me on my social medias, A Connection TVs on Twitter and Instagram. And I have more followings for you to do. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment. Those are all free to do. And also check out my online clothing store, ACTV Shop, and my platform, my indie platform of indie artists. Watch ACTV. I got a lot going on. All the links are down below. Now, this is episode 15 of the challenge, season 38. Theme of this particular challenge is ride or die. And where you live or die, by your ride or die. So says TJ. We're on episode 15 and it's called Not a Problem. And yeah, let's get into it. So where we last left off, the three teams that had one of their ride or dies get eliminated have the option of having their ride or dies come back because they've survived at this particular point in the game, and they all had to compete. And so it was Kenny and Casey versus Anissa and Jordan versus Fessy and Mariah. So Fessy and Mariah won that particular first round last week. And so now this one, going in the not a problem portion of it, or the not so Nazis, or whatever it's called, something about not. It is Anissa and Jordan and Casey and Kenny. And right away, I'm like, Anissa's not gonna get through this because she's too big. And then I'm also like, Casey is not gonna get through this with Kenny because Kenny doesn't know what he's doing. So both teams have a handicap situation going on, or a disadvantage, let me say that, to use the proper vernacular. And honestly, I'm hoping that Anissa and Jordan come over Casey and Kenny, because I can care less about them. But you just never know. And then, you know, of course, you have the post-confessionals that are misleading you. And then you have the edits that are misleading you. And then you have the prolonged situation of the competition that's misleading you. And so you just never know who's going to win. But I will say that this particular situation was hilarious because it seemed like Anissa and Jordan was creating a tangle web we weave, and Casey and Kenny were creating a singular directional kind of webbing of the rope. And so looking at it, I'm like, okay, this should be kind of easy for Anissa and Jordan, because Casey and Kenny were like going up and down and around and in through. But Jordan had a great idea to double up the ropes and make them seem like they're going in the same direction, and they weren't going in the same direction. Whatever he said is what he thought and how it came out, because clearly they ended up getting caught up in a tangled web that Anissa and Jordan weaved. And so ultimately, Anissa and Jordan win. I will say though that this was a great one to watch because Jordan was really letting Anissa have it and not allowing Anissa to quit or give up. I'm trying to figure out when Anissa busts her shoulder or kneecap. Something she does, she gets into an injury. At least that's what the trailers made it seem like, and what, you know. Was that a different competition? Am I like confused? Because I could have swore that Anissa gets an injury or something. But I don't know. Maybe she doesn't make it to the final, or maybe she gets the injury in the final. I don't know. Anyways, I digress. But Jordan and Anissa win, and Nani loses her Casey. And to be honest, both situations had me a little bit emotional. But if I had to continue to be honest, I didn't get watery over Casey and Nani. I got watery over Anissa, realizing that she could accomplish something if she just put her mind to it and not allow her mind to give up and quit. That made me emotional. Casey and Nani, it was cute, but I just couldn't get over the ugly faces that Nani was making when she was crying and trying to kiss Casey. It just wasn't attractive, at least not to me. Clearly it's attractive to Casey, but it wasn't attractive to me. So it was kind of like, it was off-putting to watch her and be sad. It was more like watching her and was like, yikes. And I'm not trying to be like funny or mean-spirited, but she was making some awkwardly looking faces when she was sad. So I felt bad that her girlfriend was leaving, yeah. But it was hard to feel bad and continue to watch the visual, because the visual was sending me in the opposite direction. And so it was more of a turn. And I didn't feel as compelled to release waterworks from my eyes. Yeah? So, Jordan and Denise are back in the game. Nani is reeling at the fact that Casey and Kenny are gone. But I will say that it was heartfelt when Casey was like, Nani, you're going to do well. Your mom is with you. Don't worry. And then Casey started crying. So then I started feeling human and feeling like some sort of like human connection between them. And I was like, aw, AWE. In lowercase though, not caps, no exclamation points. Fessy and Mariah have this like off-putting conversation, and I'm saying that it's off-putting because I've realized that even during this particular season, they do their post-confessionals on site, on location, probably like in a soundproof room, because I was seeing a lot of the same outfits going on. And right around the time that they had that conversation about, Fessy feeling betrayed from Mariah or whatever, Mariah couldn't really look into Fessy's eyes when they were talking about it. And then, Nani and Bananas had their confessional and they had the same outfit on that they had in the playthrough on the show. And I'm like, oh, so they have a post-confessional room on set, on location. Because some of these situations, I'll be like, why are they waiting to the end of the show to do these confessionals? Like, these people really remember what happened and what took place. So it's nice to see that they do the confessionals right then and there. Similar to how Big Brother does it. Like, they don't wrap the whole show and then they go back and, do confessionals. Whatever. But anyways, Fessy and Mariah's conversation was really awkward because Mariah couldn't really even look at Fessy. And then, for Fessy to be like, well, I brought you here and I was expecting you to protect me and have my back. And she's like, well, you didn't have my back in the interrogation and I've always had yours. I was like, okay, this is not going anywhere. Johnny and Nani have a little conversation. And in this particular scenario on my screens, it looks like, well, obviously, Nani is having a really, really hard time with Casey being gone. Casey was her rock, her foundation, her shoulder to lean on when, being concerned about her mom and her mom's passing. And so, Nani really needed Casey to be there to get her through the day, right? We wouldn't really know that much because they don't really show us that, but they're telling us. So we're left to, assume that they're telling the truth. But in this scenario, Johnny is really caring for Nani. I feel like that this is authentic between Johnny and Nani, and it's like Janani. It's like, it's really cool that, Bananas has the ability to care about someone other than himself. Or, right? Because there can be an or, right? Or he is just trying to get her into a position so that she's mentally and emotionally checked in so that he can get another win under his bag. I don't know, but I felt like it was genuine. And then they go into the post-confessional, or the confessional, because it wasn't post. And they talk about it. So it was interesting. So we get to the challenge, Runaway. And to be honest, it's kind of similar to the challenge that we did on the reality show that we're working on with Balls. Anyway, that's the similarity. That's the only similarity, really. Oh, that was a mess. We were outside and it was dark. And it was night and we were in the hood, right? It wasn't kosher situation. It wasn't a kosher situation, right? But anyways, they got through it. Child, they almost got to fighting. I can't wait for y'all to see this show. Hopefully y'all like it. But anyway, I digress. We do this runaway thing on a bus and like Balls and them getting knocked into the walls and stuff. Long story short, Bananas and Nani win. That's really all that matters. And then right after that, they seem compelled, or they are compelled, to save Mariah and Fessy. Mind you, Mariah and Fessy saved them before. So, yeah, it is what it is. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Johnny is, effing Mariah, or at least that's what it seems like, allegedly, right? And, clearly they're ecstatic about it, but I'm pissed because I really feel like Fessy and Mariah win this particular season. I feel that in my loins, in my scrotum. I feel it. It's moving around the testicles. And it's just not a good feeling. It actually itches. It feels like an STI. But anyways, I digress. It is what it is, right? They go into interrogation, and Chauncey and Amber find it necessary to nominate themselves for elimination. To be quite honest, they were going in anyway. I feel they were going in anyway. So they wanted to control the narrative. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't understand why all of the teams are making it like this big thing, like, oh my God, she wants to look like the hero and fall and let her body fall on the sword. I'm like, again, we're not understanding why people dislike this chick this much. We're not getting it. They're not showing it to us, but they continue to want us to believe that she's that hard to get along with. And at the same time, every person that Amber has put her faith and trust in has betrayed her. So I must just say, clearly she's the problem. Everybody can't be that butthurt over Amber, but they love Chauncey. Right? Do you feel me? And so clearly we saw moments of Amber being messiest with, the Tori and Jordan situation. But people really don't like this girl. And it is what it is. It's so evident. But I still don't understand why they made it this big thing that they nominated themselves. It takes the load off you. You don't have to nominate anyone. Amber and Chauncey are going in, and let it be a luck of the freaking draw. It was going to be Amber or Chauncey or Horatio or, what you call it. Mind you, though, no Sade. Chauncey and Amber could have had a chance to save themselves and pull the safe dagger, which is what Olivia and Horatio do. So Olivia and Horatio pull the safe dagger. Aneesa and Jordan go in because Aneesa and Jordan said their names before. And so Olivia and Horatio feel it necessary to pay it back forward. And, with that, I get that. We get to this tuggle, trumble, rumble, tumble thing. And immediately I'm like, Amber and Chauncey are going home. They're going home. Aneesa's about to dog walk out of Amber. Amber has no weight on her. Amber has no tenacity in her physicality to deal with the elephant. It's like an elephant against a baby panda. What are we doing here? But she tried. But Aneesa dogged. This is the first time Aneesa's weight helped her. Well, in the challenge where they were doing like this, the wrestling on the beam above the water, it helped her there too. Because wasn't she against? No, she was against Olivia. I think she was. No, who was she against? I think she was against Amber then too. So it's like, whatever. Amber's going home. But Chauncey, being a good guy in his 24 years of age or 23 years of age, he's supporting his girlfriend. And it's just like, aw. But she's going home. And then Chauncey and Jordan. I felt like Chauncey particularly may have had an opportunity to get a one-up because clearly he has the size, but Jordan has the experience. And we clearly see that experience won over body types and physicality throughout this whole thing. And so Chauncey and Amber are going home. Chauncey cries. I feel bad because Chauncey cries and he's just so beautiful and gorgeous to look at. And I love his his OnlyFans. So thank you, Chauncey, for creating an OnlyFans. But yeah, they're going home. And, we're one challenge away, apparently, from, a final. I just want, out of all the teams up there, to be honest, I would rather Johnny Bananas and Nani win over Fessy and Mariah. So sad, Mariah. So sad. But, the people that I really, really, really want to win is Olivia and Horatio. And then right after is Jordan and Aneesa. And then right after is Tori and Devin. And then right after is Nani and Johnny. And then right after is Fessy and Mariah. That's the way I would love for the cookie to crumble. But we'll see, because whoever wins next week, they're just going to throw Horatio and Olivia in. Hopefully Horatio and Olivia pulls out a win. But, it is what it is. Anyways, I do want to say that I'm excited. That Cam and Leroy are coming back to our screens in the form of All-Star Season 4. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when Leroy said that he was quitting, I was like, bruh, you are not in your 40s. You are not in your 50s. You are not in your 60s. You're coming back. And you and Cam are a dynamic duo. Y'all need to come back. And I was just waiting for the inevitable to happen. But it seems like Leroy and Cam are coming back. And to be honest, it seems like, again, Leroy has a great chance. But I don't know. Brad is in this. Brad's the name Brad? Brad is on the thing. And Brad is a beast. I don't know what Leroy's been doing other than cutting hair and taking care of his child. But I know Cam done gained a lot of weight. So is she about to be the new Anissa coming back? I'm trying to figure that out. I hope she done lost some of that weight before she came up here on here. Because she ain't the Cam killer. Not unless she is. Because she is going to get some older chicks. But still. You do not want that Anissa weight, right? You do not want that Anissa weight holding you backward. Anyways, I would love for the dynamic duo to win on All Stars since they couldn't really cut it during the regular season. But I love Leroy and I love Cam. This is no Sade. Like, I love them. So I want them to win. Tori, I think, what is his name? I always forget his freaking name. I don't know why I forget his freaking name. The one with the brother he fought, the gay brother he fought. I always forget. Ryan or Randy. Anyway, he's coming back. And I'm rooting for him, but I'm only rooting for four people in the cast. Brad, Tony, Cam, and Leroy. Other than that, hope you like this video. Leave your comments below. Can't wait to see All-Star Season 4. And yeah, don't forget to share. Don't forget to follow me on all my Twitters and Instagrams. Go to actvshop.com to get some clothing and go to watch ACTV to support my platform. Deuces.